Hello, I'm Zoe Zeller, and I will be talking today about password security and privacy in general. As employees, you have to maintain a level of responsibility for everything you do because you are an easy access point for anyone to come in and steal company information. And I think that's a responsibility that we have to bear and be aware of all the time. I'm going to start off by talking about password security. I think a lot of times passwords are always those things that are underrated. We use the same one for everything. They're written down, they're hidden under our keyboard, and these are things that we have to make sure that we don't do in order to keep password security. Passwords could be taken through many measures. It could be actually stolen, it could be duplicated if they found a written piece of paper, or it could be in an electronic file that is copied by somebody, which would also be a form of duplication. There's eavesdropping if you ever communicate your password to anyone else. Someone could overhear and just use that information. There's also phishing and farming, which is where you get subscribed to an email by someone impersonating someone who looks like a legitimate vendor of some sort, and they could use that to get into your computer and take your information. And lastly, there's social engineering, which is using social means to get information out of an employee to find out what their password is. And all of these things are ways that your information can be taken, and we need to make sure that it's kept Loctite. Now, some of you may be asking, what is an ideal password? There's a lot of variation on what is the best, but generally you want uppercase characters, lowercase characters, numeric characters, and ASCII characters, which would be like a special character like a question mark or percentage sign or a dollar sign. And you kind of want a mix of all four of those in order to make it harder for hackers to try to guess. The length is typically a minimum of 8 characters, but the longer the passwords, the generally more affected they are in order to have a strong password management policy. As for password age, every 90 days is considered a good policy to change your password, and hopefully the system is set up so the passwords should not be reused until a significant amount of time has passed. It would just prevent y'all from using the same password over and over again, which would just detract from our password security program. We're going to switch gears a little bit and talk about laptop security. It's more of a physical security as compared to passwords, but it still is equally important. Laptops are essential business tools that increase our mobility and work performance. However, they're often used out of company premises, and we would just want to decrease the likelihood and threats of people who do not work for us to get that information. They're vulnerable to damage or loss, so we just want to make sure that everyone is on the same page when it comes to laptop security. We're just going to go over some quick, easy security tips that will help reduce the risk of laptop damage and information losses. First, be sure to keep your laptop in possession and within sight whenever possible. You always want to have it available to see so that way you can watch over and make sure it doesn't get stolen. You also want to lock your laptop away when not using it, and never leave your laptop in an unattended car or room or office. That just would open us up to increased liability of theft. Always store your laptop in a padded bag when traveling because we don't want any damage that could cause from corrupting data. And if anything does happen to your laptop, if it's stolen or lost, even if it's not your fault, please contact the IT service department as soon as possible because we just want to mitigate the risk of losing confidential information, and we can deal with that as soon as possible. Safety may not be the most exciting, glamorous topic, but it is important, and it keeps our business functioning and keeps the reputation that we've maintained as professional as possible. So take what you've learned, apply it, and you got this.